I came to California in 1999 and moved here from the Midwest. Grew up in Ohio. So for me, this was a very foreign place. And just started making pictures to make sense of it all. That's kind of how this all got started. I kind of just went everywhere. I mean, I took my camera to yard sales. I took it to concerts. I mean, everywhere. I mean, it was an extension of my own eye. It was a completely different world then than what we are now. And there wasn't the digital camera craze, and it was rare to see a photographer making pictures in 1999, as we have this ubiquity of digital cameras today. So I was just making pictures as they presented themselves, and I was just very open to experience and taking a drive. For me, I was trained as a single image photographer, and that's a very old discipline of the news photographer, of the photojournalist, that is telling a story with one picture because that's all you have space for. And you want to try to get as much in that frame to give to the viewer, to make that count. One picture, tell the story, one picture, quick read, immediate. Certainly when I was out making pictures, I was also exploring and investigating the local art culture and scene, both musically as well as two-dimensional, three-dimensional art. So many artists that I met that I was immediately inspired by, I felt compelled to own their work and surround myself with that same experience that was happening in this Central Valley at the time. Making pictures every day as a photojournalist on deadline assignment for more than 10 years creates a discipline and almost a ritualistic pursuit behind the camera. This new foreign land of the Third California really fed that voracious visual appetite and really inspired me to continue this daily pursuit of documenting the world around me, creating literally thousands of snapshots from these day-to-day discoveries and explorations. Everything in front of the camera is worthy of a picture, even if it appears to be trivial. I try to search for enduring subjects in the fleeting, and I'm captivated by the poetic qualities of light and how it can seem to suggest meaning in the photograph, almost weaving a narrative thread in and of itself. I worked on the Third California project from 1999 to 2004, spending 5 years of exploring and documenting this interior region of the Central Valley of California, as well as up into the foothills. This project got its name from a public policy research brief that was published by the Brookings Institution in 2007. This unknown and emerging area of the interior Central Valley of California experienced a massive growth and an influx of immigrants, including myself. This dynamic period of growth and expansion happened for 5 continuous years, right up until the housing bust, which essentially created a third world California. After lugging around 3 camera bodies, a bag full of lenses, a 300 2.8,
As a photojournalist, I was pretty much done with it. I turned to the point-and-shoot camera to liberate my vision, to lighten the load, and really be anonymous, almost like a tourist. I used a Yashica T4 that has a super sharp Zeiss lens, loaded up some Fuji color negative film, usually 24 exposure rolls, and took it down to the drugstore for processing, almost taking it back to the most primitive, analog ideology of image making. I chose a very deliberate consumerist approach in using 99-cent a roll film and drugstore C41 processing. But when it came to the production and interpretation of these prints, that simplistic approach turned more dynamic and involved, using much more care and commitment to craft in the final prints, as well as the interpretation of this body of work. For this exhibition, I was looking for a lush, richly hued, more cotton candy sort of color for these images. So I used a gloss laminate over top the super gloss prints. This presentation was facilitated by a colleague and a huge, amazing photographer in his own right, John O'Connor, as a colleague at West Coast Imaging. And we're starting to put together some mounting solutions for our clients and began investigating and executing some gloss laminating on super gloss C-print chromogenic paper. The prints were mounted to an aluminum composite panel and finished with a wood subframe. Very pleased with this final contemporary presentation. It's time to show this in a stronger context, I think, and also a tighter edit and a really nice presentation, which I think I feel pretty pleased with, and I think you will too, out there in TV land.